So hello everyone, first of all. I don't repeat the title because it's too long. And first of all, who am I? So basically, I started working with multimedia since a lot of time. And it's 10 years that I'm VR and XR this year, so that's a pretty cool thing for me. And what I've done over this year is working with various startups about either gaming or VR concerts, which is something I did for the past 4 years, with even an amazing concert with Jean-Michel Jarre, and some other experiments even with 5G and other stuff. But let's not talk about me, let's see some cool stuff about mixed reality. So if you follow me, you know that lately I've tried to investigate a bit more, let's say, how to create a cool mixed reality stuff. And the fact is that, in my opinion, when there's been this hype about MR, the fact that there's been a lot of applications or such saying that are mixed reality, but they're mostly virtual reality elements put on top of a pass-through, like a layering of things. So it's just that you don't see like an actual merging of reality. If you remove the pass-through layer, you put anything else, the experience still works. For me, this is not a true mixed reality. Can still be a nice experience. I mean, can be fun games, etc. But to me, it feels a bit more like, you know, things that people are already doing in 2010 on these old Nokia phones about augmented reality, which were cool for the time, but maybe now we can do a bit more. So for me, true mixed reality is something that really you have the true realities like creating a dialogue together, having a meaning one for the other. And it's a bit a new language we have to learn. We have to learn how to do things in the right way. And there are already some nice experiments to take inspiration from, and this presentation is about them. So usually I do very tech presentation. This time I just want to show some already cool many stuff that are around so you can take inspiration from them. So let's see a few of these examples. So let's start from MR application, something that is already on the market. And since I'm Italian and I don't like stereotypes, let's talk about cooking pasta. So this is the journalist Joanna Stern from the Wall Street Journal, which was cooking with this app from the Vision Pro called Crouton. And you can see that she's putting some timers on top of the pots while she's cooking some pasta. And actually, this is a very simple thing. I mean, this is not what you are expecting to start this presentation. And I put that on purpose because, yeah, that's a very simple thing. But it's actually something that shows that even a simple thing can showcase the value of mixed reality and the value especially of virtual objects that have a sense because of the context given by real objects. If I just put this timer in any other places, they will be totally useless. But the fact that they're exactly on the pot, you want to know the time of, this is what makes them valuable. Because when I'm cooking with more pots myself, I'm like, okay, when do I put this on the fire? I never remember. In this case, with just a glance, I can see the things working. So the reality, the virtual reality has gaining value for the context given by the real elements. And this is something also said is on a real use case. So something that can be valuable for you can be valuable, of course, also for others. So this is talking about the Quest. Maybe this is something you have tried when you bought the headset. So first encounters, you just have this gun, you start investigating around your room, and you see that beyond your room there are some aliens which are not paying the rent, but are going to your house trying to do some bad things, and you have to shoot at them. And you see that the aliens are getting holes in your room, you are shooting your walls and creating holes as well. So this is a nice introductory experience. We all played a bit with it, I guess. Why this example? Yeah, this is available on the Horizon store. If you have a Quest 3 or Quest 3S, you can play with it. And this is, let's say, uses a mechanism which is a bit on evergreen of seeing portals in the walls. So breaking the walls with your guns or something else. To have a virtual element to happen beyond your real space. So you're getting like a mix of space, like a big environment, which is in part virtual outside the walls and inside real. And they are merged by your walls, which in this case are interactive. So again, create more sense of connection between the realities because you are interacting with them. And this is something which is powerful. Talking about the game which is coming is instead Laser Dance. This is the trailer, and basically it transforms your room a bit something like Mission Impossible. You have some lasers you have to dodge. You go to the other side of the room, you press the button, and a new challenge with new laser is starting. You keep doing back and forth until you lose the game. And this is pretty cool in my opinion because it shows that basically you are reinventing a bit your room. So what is a standard, let's say, boring room becomes like a challenging place, like a part of a museum, like a movie where you have a secret agent, you have to dodge the lasers. And another thing that is relevant is that actually this has been delayed for a reason about making it available for all the places. Because one of the challenges of mixed reality is that this experience should work if you have a small house, a big house, a room which is like large, a room that is long, etc. And this is a challenge. It's a bit like on website when they needed to be responsive. We need like responsive mixed reality applications. And there is an effort that is done to do that. So this is one of the challenges to remember is exactly how to make it work everywhere. And talking about reinventing your room, Starship Home is one of the best mixed reality experiences currently on the Quest Store. Your room basically becomes a ship. There is this catchy music in this trailer, which is pretty nice. And you see the guy basically sees his own room, but the room has become something different. So he rearranged totally his room is to be another place. You can even water to the plants, etc., etc. And this is pretty cool. Again, the reason is the same that we had before. So reinventing your physical space into something else. So you have your physical room and just putting strategically some windows in the walls and maybe changing a bit the colors, the lighting you have. It may look to you like your room has become a spaceship to which you go around. But there is also another thing about this application, which is pretty smart, is about, we were talking before the problem of how to make something work in every space, how to adapt every space to become a spaceship. Well, the guys here were pretty smart. They don't do that automatically. They pretend at the beginning of the game that you receive the box that makes you transform your room into spaceship. And the box, a bit like with IKEA, you have the windows, etc. You yourself have to place in the room. So that's a smart trick to avoid the problem that I said before and to let the user make the application that fits exactly his room. So once he does this operation, his room is perfectly fit to become a spaceship later. So having mixed reality, reinventing it. And another app that got very viral is Pencil, that helps you drawing with the help of mixed reality. So you see on the papers, there are the lines, yes, to draw, there are some inspirations, some suggestions. And there is also a controller there on the sheet of paper. I will come to this a bit later. So I cut it down because otherwise there is no time, but it's lovely if you want to look on it on YouTube, etc. There are pretty cool videos. So here the mixed reality is useful because it's helping the user in his real activities. So I have to do a physical operation, draw on paper. Maybe I'm not even good at drawing, but this application put me some virtual elements on top of my real thing to help me. I saw similar experiences maybe about writing Chinese characters or doing calligraphy, etc., or helping to draw other stuff. And the controller that you've seen before, I said to look at it because it's pretty smart. How can you know where is the piece of paper? So the thing is they like to put a controller on the table to give a frame of reference to the sheet. So you put the controller on the sheet of paper so you know where is the controller because where is the paper because you know where is the controller. So it's a trick to avoid doing, let's say, the object tracking, which is currently not possible, and to create some sense of mix of the various realities. And this is something instead that was became viral about the Vision Pro. And there's this application that turns your room into the Matrix. I guess probably you have seen this video because it was literally everywhere when it was out. I remember trying to do similar experiments in the past, but there was not the technology to make it happen. Now, finally, with the LiDAR, with the meshing capabilities of phones and headsets, this becomes possible. So it's not only about adding elements. Until now, we see mostly adding virtual elements on top. It can also be about modifying a bit what the user is seeing. And so in this case, it's about taking the mesh of the environment. Since now we have it, adding some stuff so that everything looks like the matrix. And since they're using a famous IP, I think the brain also helps in closing the holes that are missing this emulation because you want to be in the matrix, so you feel more into it. A bit like now that there is the Batman game on the Quest 3, and it's something that we all love because it's a dream of our childhood. So that's something that is helping. And last thing I put is this is a test that we did in the past, maybe it was 2019, something like that. It was called Bit Reality. And basically, the music is playing in the real environment in your room, and the headset is pulsating following the rhythm of the music. So basically, you see the reality depending on the music. So that was pretty cool and magical. It was on the Vive Focus and Vive Focus Plus, so it's really talking about a lot of time. And this is cool because, again, you're mixing two different sciences. You're mixing audio, you're mixing video together, and you make the user see the reality in a different way. So you're really modifying reality depending on the music. There's also some fun stories about this. One night, we even make some tests, bring it in a discotheque and dancing and make people try it. It was a very fun night, and we also discovered that when people are drunk or under the effect of some substances, they love mixed reality. So in case you need to do some tests, that's the ideal environment. And talking about sober people again, let's talk about the prototypes. So what I've shown until now has been applications which have been released on some stores. But there are some people which are making cool videos on YouTube or other channels. And one of my favorites is Lucas Martinich, and he's made some tests during XR hackathon lately. And basically, he's using the Logitech stylus to take the colors of objects, the real objects, and using them to draw virtual elements. So that's got, again, super popular as a video because it's something totally unexpected. And one of the nice things about it is that it emulates like a behavior of a component we all know, the color picker. Usually you have it like on Photoshop, whatever, but it mixes a reality. And you are using the virtual controller with virtual elements actually to take some property from a real object. You are not expecting a virtual tool to take property from real objects. And it's also using the access to camera frames. I mean, Meta is releasing the feature officially next year. But now there is some hacky way to obtain the access of the frames of the camera of the Quest, which is pretty nice. And it shows the power of having this camera access and why we developers asked for it. This also got super, super famous from another great guy, which is Daniel Beauchamp. It's about making the course using mixed reality. So why making vacuum cleaning in a boring way where you can simulate you're playing a game and getting some coins with your vacuum cleaner. That's cool. I mean, that's a future many people envisioned with AR, MR, about gamification. You know, I remember also some papers from Magic Leap in the past saying you can make lots of activities fun, like the cleaning something or buy groceries, etc. Gamification can be something. Gamifying these boring things can be a great value of mixed reality in general, and probably you will see more of these use cases in the next year. So that's something to think about. And then again, I can use virtual elements to support my activity, but this time not much as supporting the activity, let's say, both in a useful way, because thanks to the coins you see where you have already do the cleaning, but also, as I said, to motivate them. And then you're using the vacuum cleaner as the controller. So how he did that, if you zoom at a certain point in the video, you notice he put a controller of the device on the vacuum cleaner. So he made this trick to have object tracking, and it worked. And then Dyson actually made a similar app, taking inspiration from this for your phone. You can put it in the cleaner and see where you're doing the cleaning. And he complained they didn't give for him a vacuum cleaner for free. So if there is here someone from Dyson, please give this guy a free gift. So this is something I did. Maybe let's remove the audio because otherwise I cannot talk on it. And basically, I'm putting virtual objects in my room. So in the way I'm putting them, you realize why I'm a developer and not an interior designer. They're terrible. But anyway, the thing I did is after I put this thing horribly, I asked some AI, which was ChatGPT, basically, what is his opinion on what he's saying? You know, like, what do you think about this interior design setup? And you get an answer like, you know, ChatGPT is always kind. Oh, looks cozy and inviting. I tried putting some toilet seats in this environment. He said the same things. You know, oh, it's cozy, it's fantastic. So don't trust him that much. But anyway, he is giving suggestions. Oh, maybe the chairs, don't put them so messy way, put them better, etc., etc. And I made this test on the Quest 3. And what I wanted to prove, apart from using AI and MR together, and this is something that even Ori said today in the keynote, is that AI and MR are helping me with a real problem, but especially AI doesn't operate on the real or virtual elements. It operates on them together. He's seeing me, how I put the virtual elements in the room, in my real room, and giving an opinion on it. So I know how can then I can buy real elements to do interior designing. So here the cool thing was doing AI analysis on two things. And these are other tests I did. So I took my real door and sliding it, I could obtain to see some other things. Not my boring entrance, but some fantastic green garden. The video is on YouTube if you want to see. There are other places that I show. There is haunted cemetery, there is some space station. I mean, there are pretty cool things. And you can open and close the door, and it's like a real door.
Happy with a happy fun.
And I made something similar with the balcony. So I went outside and said, oh, now instead of my street, I just see again the green forest. It was a free asset on Unity Ancestor. That's why I'm always using the green forest. I'm terrible at making 3D stuff. But anyway, it's good to see that, you know, really made like my real balcony, how I could see outside. And these tests were cool for a few reasons. Again, I'm merging environments, and I'm using the real, the scene setup, the room scanning of Meta that understands where is my floor, where is my door, so I know how I can interact with some objects. And these are features that appear lately on consumer headsets, so we can exploit it. And then I'm using objects and contexts that are the same in real and virtual worlds. The door, in the real life, I open it to open a portal to another door. In this case, I use the door to open a portal to a new virtual world. And the same for the balcony. Instead of seeing a real landscape, I see a virtual one. So again, I'm creating a mix of features between the real and virtual world. And probably in the future, we'll have something like you look outside the window and you see the environment that you want to see. So this is also a glimpse a bit of the future. And this is another test I did. So it's a bit weird to make videos for YouTube in my toilet. But anyway, that's me just looking myself in the mirror, looking a bit stupid. But what is the mirror? It's about how other people will see me. And I said, okay, why this mirror cannot also make me see how virtual people will see me? So the thing you see behind me is the virtual representation of the mesh of the space behind me. And so the same mirror, so the same real element, gives me a double function. And in the real and virtual world, and I can change also identity because I can do that in a MR. I can be a man, a woman, an animal, whatever I want, because that's the power of mixed reality and virtual reality in general. And so you can have this mirror with this double functionality. And this is, again, also important because puts the human at the center of the experience. So I'm playing with identity, and it's always good, you know, even if we're tech people, to always think about put ourselves in the center. And this is probably the last thing I did I want to show you. So here I have a bottle. real bottle, real glass, but have some virtual magical interaction. And then I'm going to take the glass after saying some things. I'll show you that the virtual elements is not stick to the desk, and this is the power of having object tracking and things like that. Things appear more real. I drink this magic potion, and then I become a dragon, and another free effect on the access store. And I could make something magical. So this shows the power of object tracking. You know where there are objects. You can make them interact between them or interact with the user and have some special virtual effects that happen. Give something that has not only a real but also virtual function. By the way, since object tracking is not available, I did a bit of a trick, and I used the position of the hand to track the objects. I made also an open source plugin to do this kind of tricks with the hands. It works so and so, but it can give some interesting thing. If you want to check it out, it's a Meet license. You can do whatever you want. So enough talking about me. Here it's a video from Volodymyr Kurbatov, another great guy making lots of tests. If he wants to learn how to play this music, just put the phone on the guitar and learn it. Okay. If you want to listen to the full song, you can go on YouTube or iTunes. And again, this is another trick for object tracking. We've seen the controller, we've seen the hands. Now you can see also the phone. And is how using mixed reality to teach him to do something, which is playing music, which is not easy. And this is another demo with audio, which is pretty cool. Always for Lucas Martinich. So he starts the recorder, plays some music, and the virtual recorder is playing the music and save it in that virtual cassette. And then there is a long thing he does in this video, and luckily there is not the time to see it all, but he's doing this recording thing multiple times, and then it's mixing the tracks with these virtual objects together, which is a pretty cool thing. And then he's also dancing, so maybe this night at the Pico party we can dance this thing. And what I loved of this, again, the virtual objects are taking interaction from the real one. The real one is playing, the virtual one is recording the audio in the virtual cassette. So it's, again, the two realities that are interacting together. And also, I love this demo because it's not only visual mixed reality. Again, it's audio mixed reality in the end also. So it's important to notice that there is not only visuals. We need to play mixed reality in all the senses that are available, let's say. So I made a little mention to MR framework that there is also the person working on it here. I know they changed a bit the business model, but this bit of async reality is pretty cool because it shows an environment that gets reskinned to become virtual. But you see the shape, the main characteristics of the environment are the same. The sofa becomes a trunk of a tree. And even when you change the skin, the shape remains the same. You see now there is a box. So this is a way of reskinning reality to basically not merging real and virtual elements, but creating virtual elements that replicate a real space that can stay there. So for instance, when you touch the sofa, you touch the virtual element, you touch a virtual trunk, you touch a real element. And also you can sit down in the trunk because you know that there is a real element there. So it's a nice thing that they are working on. And this is another way, let's say, of doing some kind of mixed reality, exploiting the layout of the room. So just to wrap up, I just invite you all to take all these tests. I've shown you to take inspiration and maybe try to do something crazy yourself, either as an application or a video you share with the others, because we're all inspiring each other. And that's the cool thing that is happening. Remember to merge the realities together and think about how they can interact with each other. And probably this will be our future. So maybe something you are going to propose, I don't know, tomorrow will be something that sticks for the next 15 years. Who knows? So that's it for today. Now it's your turn to do some cool mixed reality experiments. If you want to contact me, these are my emails and some other stuff. That's my blog. And thank you for your attention. Hope you're still awake.
Thank you so much, Antony. Questions?
Hi. Just one question. One thing I get stumble every time I see augmented reality with that truly interacts with the surrounding is the way we touch things. We don't get any feedback, and then this inhibits anything real. I can't touch the one of example that you gave with the tape recorders. It's a problem because you see he didn't know exactly where it is. He needs to move his hand. And the example with the drawing, you can see the frustration of the user. He's trying to push a button there and he's not so sure. So how can we fix that? How can we make it really an augmented reality with all our senses?
Well, great question, by the way. Hope to give a decent answer to this. So I think that there is not a perfect solution because we are not ready yet to do something like that. I mean, if we think long term, there are already some gloves that are trying to do the so-called force feedback and the haptic sensation. So basically, the force feedback prevents your fingers to go beyond a certain extent, even if you don't hold anything, because they are basically dragging your fingers back. So when this technology will be ready, we will have solved the problem. Until that moment, I think there are a few things you can do. One is a bit relying still on whatever you can do to give some phantom sensation of touch. It can be a bit of haptics if you have a controller. Sometimes you can use some sound effect or visual effect together. I remember Leap Motion was starting to do this to create this sense of a bit of phantom touch. So your brain still sees an effect when something you're touching and imagines a bit that you're touching something. And or you can try associated things with reskinning existing objects. So like I was doing with the bottle or with the sync reality we're doing with the sofa. So you touch what looks like a secret box of the pirates and you touch your table. So you still have some kind of haptics from other stuff. There are tricks. There is not a perfect solution, but you can try with these tricks for now. By the way, that's a sync reality guy. So I see he wants to speak.
I mean, of course, it's a challenge. What we had, if you mix rules or if you mix real objects with virtual objects, you go crazy, and you have to be very conservative if you use, for example, sync reality, that you only put virtual skins on real objects and not add on top of some virtual floating objects, because then you don't know what is real, what is virtual, and then you lose trust. That's why in the beginning we said only virtual skins on real stuff, and then you can turn any wall into a window, any table into a big iPad, and due to the contact of, because you don't use controllers, of your hand with a real surface, with a different skin, you have another pre-trust to the new virtual skins because it's reality. But if you mix it, then you often get lost. That's why you have to be very conservative in the beginning. And we thought also those haptic gloves and all that technology is also annoying because you need to exchange batteries and stuff. So we wanted to be conservative in the beginning, and that's why you have to be very clean. Yeah.
Any other question? If not,
it will be beautiful.
no, thank you so much, Antony, for your great talk.
Thanks to you all.
Great applause. So we will have a short break now and continue at 3:30 with the next talk.